Unacceptable solutions, the truth about the combustible cladding crisis in Australia and what it means for property owners. Written and presented by Michael Tees.
If there is one group of property owners who have fared badly in the cladding crisis, second only to the fire victims and their families, it is the owners of strata-titled apartments. Their situation is unique and differs from corporate property owners in three ways. Firstly, they have no choice but to replace their cladding and to replace it immediately. That liability comes from strata laws that say owners must keep their common property in good and serviceable repair, and that has been held by the courts to mean you must fix it immediately it falls into disrepair, and this extends to building defects that were caused by the original builder. It also doesn't matter in the eyes of the law if the owners have the money or not. It's a strict liability. Secondly, strata owners do not have the right to go uninsured or to self-insure as corporates do. Strata entities are obliged by laws to insure their buildings each year for replacement value. So insurers can, and indeed are, forcing strata to embrace compliance and to remove banned cladding from their buildings. It's a take-it-or-leave-it type negotiation for strata entities, as apartments are unsaleable without strata insurance. Thirdly, strata owners, whether they know it or not, are members of an unlimited liability entity, and they are jointly and severally liable for their fellow owners' contributions to the financial obligations of the strata to which they must belong. Take a minute to think that through. This sleeper of a legal conclusion is based on the fact that strata entities can't be wound up until all their financial obligations and liabilities have been discharged, and until then, they're obliged by law to continue striking levies until the slate is clear. If somebody can't pay their levies, they must be adjusted and re-levied until those that can pay clear the slate. So let's reflect on the position of a strata with combustible cladding. They must fix and replace the cladding because state governments have said retrospectively that their cladding has been banned and they've revoked their certificate of compliance. They must replace it immediately because that's what the strata laws say. They must also have insurance so their premiums might skyrocket while they're working out what to do and to get all the owners together to agree how to fund the remediation plan. Then if there is a fire in the meantime, they will certainly not be covered for cladding, and depending upon the circumstances, they may not be covered for any loss at all. Strata owners can sometimes be their own worst enemies in the way in which they procrastinate. But this is a bad place to be coming from, and they deserve a break. Sadly, I can't see one coming their way. That would involve a massive capitulation by government, who are blaming the construction industry, and the construction industry who are blaming the government. Both seem to have forgotten who pays their wages.
Fix My Strata is brought to you by Alspec, Australia's leading aluminium systems specialists. The information featured in this video is general in nature and does not constitute legal, insurance or financial advice. The information should not be relied upon as advice to be applied in any factual situation. Before making any legal, insurance or financial decisions, you should consult a licensed professional in your state or territory who can advise you whether or not your decision is appropriate for you. Michael Tees has commercial arrangements with Alspec and other companies and service providers mentioned and featured on fixmystrata.com.au.